So, Ike, on Sunday, there's really two ways to look at the game if the Eagles were to lose the game. Looking at that game, do you worry more about the Eagles beating themselves or the 49ers beating the Eagles, if you understand what I mean by that?
No, listen, I understand exactly what you mean, but here's where I'm at with this when I think about this game coming up Sunday. As we discussed this an hour or so ago and sort of how we felt, if I'm looking at this game Sunday, this game is about the Eagles. This game is about the Eagles. And this is no disrespect to the 49ers. I think Kyle Shanahan has done an outstanding job as a head coach with the amount of injuries and things he's had to deal with this year. The way he's been able to get that team to still play at a high level. And it wasn't until last week where they had the game against Seattle that everybody started viewing this team differently. Although the issues were always there. He just was able to mask them with some of his coaching and give credit to Brock Purdy and his play. That being said, this is a game the Eagles should win. It's in their house. While the 49ers last week were fighting with Seattle for the number one seed and home field advantage, and they had to play everybody that was available to them last week to win that game. Emotionally and physically, the Eagles were able to rest last week and go into a game Sunday not overly concerned about the outcome. They had already decided what was more important, which was their physical well-being, their mental well-being, having a chance to reset, come back refreshed and renewed, all for this game at home. So much to where they told us the number 2 seed isn't what's most important to us.
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter. So that puts all of the onuses on them to win this game because that's what they deemed was most important, and their course of action was the best course of action. So when I think about this game Sunday, if there's anything that would concern me, it would be the Eagles, not the 49ers. It's whether or not did the week of rest help the offensive line, which I think is more important than anything. Defensively, we're young enough, we're healthy enough outside of Nakobe Dean, and I think he's had a few weeks to get healthier, so the week certainly helped him. But the other guys on defense are pretty much ready to go. This was more or less about the offensive line getting healthy, getting an extra week of rest for Saquon and his legs. But we've seen them after a bye week this year. And it didn't necessarily lead to explosive play up there in Green Bay.
No, it didn't.
Right?
Or here in Detroit. Or here against Detroit.
Right,
yeah.
So if there's one thing I'm looking at, I'm saying to myself, which Eagles team is going to show up Sunday offensively? I can almost hang my hat on who's going to show up and how they're going to play defensively. They've been pretty consistent, despite the Chicago Bears game. That doggone turkey and tryptophan, yes, I still blame it on that. It's the offense. And what offense am I getting Sunday? Offense am I getting Sunday? Am I getting the running game? What's the game plan we're going in with this Sunday? Are we going to be committed to the running game? If there's anything that concerns me, it's what that side of the football is going to do Sunday, because I think the 49ers, the only way they're in this game is if we aren't playing our best football. Our best football versus their best football, we win by double digits. But we haven't played that way all year, consistently.
215-592-9494. When you think about Sunday's game, what worries you more? Is it the Eagles themselves or is it the Niners? And I certainly, the Eagles have done enough things this year, even aside from the offensive line, to shoot themselves in the foot, right? Mm-hmm. The penalties and the special teams issues and the communication and blah, blah, blah. And is that possibility's there for sure. But I think there is and I think it's specifically because of the last game that the Niners played against the Seahawks. I think there's a little bit of underrating the 49ers here. And I think I would be a little bit more worried about the Niners specifically. And the Eagles' concerns are there. and I understand they didn't look good against the Seahawks. But before that one game, the 49ers were rolling offensively as good as any team in the NFL.
Yep.
As good as any team in the NFL. They were, the 49ers, a week ago, one win away from the number one seed in the NFC in the toughest division, playing in the toughest division in football. I think we're underrating, to an extent, their head coach, not you, but generally, who has taken two separate quarterbacks to the Super Bowl and had a real opportunity of winning one of them, and a quarterback who is really sort of playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now and has another year on his resume where he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, who has won an NFC championship game, who has been good on the road, who is not flustered by playing in Philadelphia. And I think Christian McCaffrey, is he as dynamic as he used to be? No, but that's a great player over there.
Sure.
So I think the Eagles' concerns are valid. They're all valid. But when I think about what is my biggest worry about Sunday? It's the coach and the quarterback over there. It's the 49ers. It's a 49ers offense that looked really good up until a week ago. So that would be my biggest concern, would be the Niners, not so much the Eagles, though what you bring up is valid. 215-592-9494. What worries you more on Sunday? The Eagles losing the game, really, or the 49ers coming in here and winning it